Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavidvaram Satgurum Brahmavidvaram. 14th and 15th mantra. Prate bravimi tadume nibodha Swargyamagnim Nachiketa prajanan Anantalokapti matho pratishtham Vidhitvametam nihitam guhayam Lokadimagnim tamuvacha tasmai Ya ishtaka yavatirva yathava Sachapi tat pratyavadadyatoktam Athasya mrityuhu Punareva hatushtaha. We were seeing the second boon that Yamacharya is giving Nachiketa. The first boon was regarding his father. He said father should have good night's sleep. He should not get agitated by whatever has happened. Please bless him in such a way that he is calm and peaceful. Yamacharya quickly gave him that boon. Second boon, Nachiketa asks for that knowledge that one needs to go to Swarga. Going to Swarga after dropping this physical body, that is one Swarga. But this knowledge is such, even while a person is in physical body, his mind will experience the joy of Swarga. That is a technique of devotion. That is a technique of understanding nature of God and meditating upon God, erasing one's own individuality in front of Bhagavan. That is the topic of devotion. That is the topic of upasana. There is one technical concept. We have been studying it since Tattva Bodha time, but it's helpful to revise in this context. Vedanta wants to teach us that there is one consciousness. That's why we say it is Advaita Vedanta. Advaita means other than consciousness, there is nothing else. Whatever appears to be other than consciousness is only an appearance. It is not having independent existence. And whatever we understand at microcosm level, we can apply it to macrocosm and start appreciating it. By the way, this thought process, right? Microcosm, macrocosm, looking at God as whole universe. There are very few places where these topics will be discussed. And wherever it is discussed, we should try to get maximum out of it. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam also, same topics will come there. God's form will be described as Ekarupa. His eyes will be described. The way he holds the butter will be described. Bhavayami Gopala Balam. The way he dances. All of that will be described. But along with that, they will remind us that same Bhagwan is all-pervading. Same Bhagwan is Virata Swarupa. That Bhagwan we should meditate upon. Looking at the form, the bhavana which comes inside is God is all-pervading. Means whenever this devotee goes through his daily life, somewhere in between he reminds himself of this thought, of this understanding. that what I am seeing in front of me is not world, it is God. One Mahatma Ji, he says, our essential nature is consciousness. But we mistake that consciousness to be ahankara. Ahankara, essential nature is consciousness only. Just like if you are seeing an illusory snake on a rope, even if you are seeing the snake, essential nature of that snake is rope. Because snake doesn't have its independent existence. It's borrowing existence from rope. That's why even if you are seeing the snake, what you are seeing is rope, but we mistake it to be the snake. Like that, he says, here how we can understand or appreciate it, that our essential nature is consciousness, but we take ourselves to be body, mind, ego, not realizing that essential nature of body is also consciousness. Essential nature of ego is consciousness. We focus only on the conditioning part. Like that, he says, when we see the world, we see the conditioning, but we fail to recognize that which is getting conditioned. Consciousness conditioned by total conditioning is God. So I see air, I see water, I see earth, I see all elements. But I say these are elements, this thought doesn't come that this is God. He said just like mix-up is happening here at microcosm, and we fail to recognize our own divinity in microcosm, sometimes we also fail to recognize the total divinity in macrocosm. Now this point, we learn it in a technical way in Tattva Bodha. How is it taught? Microcosm level. These are all Vedanta 101 questions. Names you have to remember. Consciousness conditioned by individual ignorance. Consciousness conditioned by individual ignorance gets the name Prajna. Prajna. That name is of consciousness. Conditioning is ignorance. Consciousness plus that conditioning of ignorance, Maya Upadhi, or call it as Avidya Upadhi, it is called as Prajna. The distinct expression of Prajna is in deep sleep. So when we go to deep sleep, all our names become Prajna. We don't go with this name to deep sleep. Consciousness plus ignorance conditioning is Prajna. Consciousness with subtle conditioning of subtle body, consciousness gets the name Taijasa. Taijasa. Taijasa means one that is very brilliant. Something which can project so many things. Like in dream, for example, whole universe this mind creates. Because it has this brilliance, it is called as Taijasa. Whose name is Taijasa? Consciousness name is Taijasa. By itself, it doesn't have any name. But along with conditioning, it is given different names. Can I ask a quiz question here? Is Brahman name of consciousness or not? How many say yes? How many say no? Consciousness by itself doesn't have any name. Name is there to eliminate erroneous things. So when you say Brahma, if somebody thinks consciousness to be finite, so Brahma negates this idea that consciousness is not finite. It doesn't want to indicate consciousness as big. If you indicate it as big, it will become another object. How big? Notion of big and small comes only when there is a thought. But for us to shift attention there, our erroneous ideas have to be removed. That is why names are given. Consciousness by itself It is arupa anama. No form, no name. Consciousness with ignorance as conditioning at individual gets the name prajna. Consciousness with subtle body as the conditioning gets the name taijasa. Same consciousness with gross body as conditioning gets the name Vishwa. Again, whose name is this? Conscious, not of body. Body is just a conditioning. Prajna, Taijasa, Vishwa. Do they look like three people or is it one? I mean, just look at yourself. Do you feel you are different consciousness conditioned by ignorance, consciousness conditioned by subtle body, consciousness conditioned by gross body? They are not three things. When a conditioning is given predominance, from that conditioning standpoint, one name is given. Think of it this way. You have one mannequin, okay, a face is there. On top of that, you put different masks. You put one mask, you call that mannequin one name. Put the second mask, call it a second name. Third mask, third name. Names are of the same entity. Based on the conditioning, it changes. Like that, consciousness is one. Three different names come to it because of three conditionings. When we get the name Vishwa, what happens to the conditionings of subtle body and causal body? Is it there or does it disappear? Very much there. But in waking state, our attention or identity is predominantly with gross body. That is why it gets the name Vishwa. When we go to sleep in dream, predominant identification is with mind. That is why it gets the name Taijasa. And in deep sleep, identity is predominantly with causal body, ignorance. That is why consciousness gets the name Prajna. Very simple, right? At physical body level. Three names because of three conditionings. Ignorance conditioning, what is the name? Prajna. Subtle body conditioning, name is Taijasa. Gross body, Vishwa. Subtle body, Taijasa. Causal body, Prajna. Ignorance or causal body is the same, that is Prajna. Whatever happens at microcosm, same thing happens at macrocosm. Consciousness conditioned by total ignorance. Total ignorance gets the name Ishvaraha. What we call as Bhagavan, whom we call as Bhagavan, his essential nature, according to Vedanta, is consciousness conditioned by total Maya power. And in totality, Sattva Guna power is more. That's why it becomes the Shakti of the Lord. We say Maya Shakti. If you read Lalita Sahasranama also, so many names will be there of Divine Mother from Shakti standpoint. But Shakti is not independent. Shakti is always with Shaktiman, which is Chaitanya. Consciousness is there, and that consciousness has total conditioning of ignorance, total conditioning of Maya. At individual level, consciousness with individual conditioning was called as Prajna. Total macrocosm level, consciousness with conditioning is Ishvara. Consciousness with total mind conditioning. Consciousness with the conditioning of total mind is called as Hiranya Garbha. Garbha means egg. Hiranya means gold. So it's a golden egg. Golden egg means that place from which all vibhutis emerge. Any skill that a jiva has, it's one small tiny dust of the skill which is there in totality. This is what we were saying in the last class. When you say Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat, means it is seeking to this total mind that may my individual mind be blessed. So that is the second name of totality, which is called as Hiranyagarbha. When consciousness identifies with total gross body, total gross universe, consciousness gets the name Virat. Or what we chant in Purusha Suktam, Virat Purusha, the one who has 1,000 eyes, 1,000 legs. Means all eyes are eyes of God. Don't look at it literally. 1,000 eyes means imagine how Bhagavan will look. That's why we were saying in Saddarshanam class, Vishwarupa is very terrifying. Arjuna, when he sees Vishwarupa, first emotion which comes is of reverence. He says, Bhagavan, I thought you to be an ordinary person, but this is who you are. So many Brahmandas he saw all together. But second request is, he says, Bhagavan, I want to see you in your Saumya Rupa, in your calm form in which I can meditate upon you. That is his request. But just think of it, just like I feel oneness with every single part of my body, Bhagavan feels oneness with every single part of this creation. If any part of the body needs help, needs attention, because I have oneness, immediately I will go and pay attention. Like that, any part of creation needs attention, there is one creator who is paying attention. It's a deep solace for a devotee. He says the one who has created this world is also looking after it. So that form is called as Virat. Consciousness with total conditioning of ignorance is called as Ishvara, causal body, total Maya Shakti. Same consciousness with total mind conditioning is Hiranyagarbha. Consciousness with total gross conditioning is Virat. Now, why did we discuss this? In Upasana, Vishwa tries to merge his identity with Virat. Vishwa, the individual, tries to erase his separation from Virat. That becomes his Upasana. So when he thinks about his body, he doesn't limit it only to this. He says this whole universe is my Sharira. Experiences might come through this body, but his feeling of oneness is beyond this body. This is where we had seen the example of mother and child. The experience of the mother is through her physical body. But whatever experience child is having, that mother also has. This is natural upasana. Without doing anything, this upasana comes. Like that, this sadhaka has done for Bhagavan. He says, my Bhagavan is Virata Swarupa. And with Bhagavan, he wants to find, or he is seeking his identity, seeking his oneness. Means we can appreciate this intellectually first. And then to whatever extent we can practice. Means whenever we sit down in front of the Lord, bringing this idea that God is, who is much more powerful, all-pervading, in that Bhagavan, I seek my oneness. Taijasa is seeking oneness with Hiranyagarbha. Taijasa is seeking oneness with Hiranyagarbha. He says that same consciousness which is appearing outside, my Bhagavan who is appearing outside, is also the consciousness which is illumining this mind. In this way, he tries to meditate. Just like I have individual mind, there is something at cosmic level which is also planning, which is also doing things. And that is much more powerful mind, much more purer mind. He says, may my mind tune with that totality. Tanme manah Shiva Sankalpam astu. May that mind of mine have Shiva Sankalpa. Shiva's mind is Hiranyagarbha. And my mind is Taijasa, the individual mind that is trying to find oneness. This knowledge Yamacharya taught Nachiketa. In the second boon, when he said, teach me devotion, Yamacharya taught the secrets of devotion. Vidyatvametam nihitam guhayam. He said, first understand this, how other people have understood. In your intellect, make it very firm. What is nature of God? How this meditation has to be done. Lokadim agnim tamuvacha tasmai. Bhagwan's name here is Lokadim, one from whom universe emerges. That Virata Swarupa, Bhagavan, he taught how to meditate upon God and different rituals which were related to that meditation. There was a fire sacrifice, how to arrange the bricks, what kind of bricks, number, quantity, everything he taught, all details he taught. Then our Nachiketa, once he heard it, he repeated the whole thing back. You will notice whenever it's a subtle topic, precise repetition also is very good. If it's a general topic, different views are okay, different perspectives are okay. But if it's a subtler topic, this is first we have to hear, and even if we can repeat the whole thing, that way we know we have understood, whether we have understood or not. So that Nachiketa did, and Yamacharya is very pleased. Athasya mrityuhu punarevaha tushtaha. Already he was pleased, now again he is more pleased. Whenever we are pleased, the true sign of being pleased is you have to be generous. You have to give something. So Yamacharya, the way he is pleased, he says, I promised you 3 boons, now I promise you few more. He says, what are those boons? 16th verse. Tamabravit priyamano mahatma. Tamabravit priyamano mahatma. Varam tavehadya dadami bhuyah. Varam tavehadya dadami bhuyah. Tavaiva namna bhavitayam agnihi. Tavaiva namna bhavitayam agnihi. Srunkam chemam. Srunkam chemam. Aneka rupam gruhana. Srunkam chemam. Aneka rupam gruhana. Tam Nachiketam abravit. To that Nachiketa, Yamacharya spoke. Who is Nachiketa for Yamacharya? Priyamanaha. One who has become very dear to him. He's very impressed with his qualities, qualifications. And who is Yamacharya? He says Yamacharya is Mahatma. Tam abravit priyamano Mahatma. Priyamana goes to Nachiketa. Mahatma title goes to Yamacharya. Mahatma means a large-hearted person. Large-hearted person. His Atma has become Mahan. See, Atma word is not only used with Shuddha Chaitanya. Atma word is used, morning class also we saw. It is used with mind, can be used with body. So in every context we should know where Atma word is used. So here Mahatma means one whose mind has become very generous, large-hearted person. One Mahatma ji would say, परमात्मा तो सभी है, हमको महात्मा बनना है. We are all consciousness to begin with. We don't have to put forth effort. He says we have to put forth effort to become large-hearted. That is this qualification of, or quality of Yamacharya, Mahatma. Varam tava iha adya dadami bhuyah. He says, now I am going to again give you few more boons. Because you are so good, I am very impressed with you. What are those boons? One, he says, Tavaiva namna bhavita ayam agnihi. From now onwards, this particular sacrifice what I taught you, this particular ritual what I taught you, it was known as Agni Vidya. From now onwards it will be called as Nachiketa Vidya. Student's name is given for the ritual. Yamacharya could have given his name also. He said, I taught you, so let us change it to my name. He says, no, you are such a good student. From today, from now, because next mantra, he starts referring to that Vidya as Nachiketa Vidya. Sometimes, people name certain places, some stadium or some garden with person's name, but even after changing the name, they will still call it by previous name. It takes time to change. But Yamacharya's blessing is so powerful, the moment he has given it, from then onwards it is called as Nachiketa Vidya. Now he is so happy, he is not content with one boon. He says, I want to give more. Second, he says, Srunkam cha imam aneka rupam gruhana. See, Yamacharya is a king. So he is very well dressed. Has necklace, everything. So one beautiful necklace he takes out, he says, this is for you. Srunkam means chain, necklace. Aneka rupam means different jewels, different gems were there. That necklace he gives to Nachiketa. Now Bhagwan Shankaracharya clarifies here, it could be that he gave necklace to Nachiketa, but it could also be he gave a series of other knowledge which Nachiketa will benefit from. Different types of meditation practices, different types of secrets about rituals. That he gave Nachiketa. And none of this he has asked. Everything is getting just because he is a fit student. This as though is giving us a subtle message here. That many a times we want things in our life. It could be some position, some object. And we work hard also for it. But a stage comes when we feel, maybe I should go and grab it. I am so close. I don't know when it will come. I should go and get it. This particular verse reminds us that if a person increases qualifications, person increases their adhikara. Totality is also looking for the right person, for right things to come. And whenever things come in such a way, they bring peace and don't bind that person. If he has gone out of his own accord and grabbed certain things, even if it comes, it will come with a lot of agitations. Gurudev would say, a flower which has blossomed fully doesn't have to advertise for bees. Means a person who has increased qualifications, whatever he wants is already looking for him. Because totality also looks for the right person for the right work. So here Nachiketa, really speaking, did not even ask for 3 boons. Why did he come to Yamacharya? Just his father sent him there. He said, Mrityavetva dadami. Only that much he said. He came to figure out or ask whether Yamacharya has some work to be accomplished through him. This is what he had thought and he came. Then his qualification was such, he stayed there, fasted for 3 days. Because of that he got this 3 boons. Then whatever Yamacharya taught him, he repeated it back. Because of that he is getting these other boons. Means everything is coming to him unasked. Vasishtha Maharshi, he tells Dashrath Maharaj in Ramcharitmanas, just like a river rushes to the ocean unasked, like that happiness rushes to a person unasked when he does dharma. Means when he works on himself, does the right things, that person gets much more than what he wants. There was one Mahatma Ji, his name is Swami Sharanananji Maharaj. Prajna Chakshu. Prajna Chakshu means one who doesn't have physical eyes, but their eye of wisdom is very bright and brilliant. In our tradition, see how sensitive they are whenever they address people. They will call Mahatmas, this Mahatma didn't have physical eyes, he is called as Prajna Chakshu, means he is having the eye of wisdom. There are many incidents in his life, very inspiring life he lived. He would say, there are 3 vibhutis, 3 glories of a human being. First we will see in Hindi, I'll translate everyone. He says, first vibhuti, first glory of a human being is पाए हुए का सदुपयोग. पाए हुए का सदुपयोग means whatever he has received in life, towards that thing is very grateful. Whatever thing is working in life right now, it might be good health, relations, work, whatever those things are. पाए हुए का सदुपयोग. He notices them, acknowledges them, and knows how to use it well. Otherwise, our mind is so strange. Whatever is attained, it will totally do, it will ignore it completely. And things which are not there, that will be seen in a blaring way. Praptasya upeksha, apraptasya apeksha. So praptasya upeksha means whatever is attained, ignoring that thing. Whatever is working right now, ignoring it. Whatever is not working, getting stuck only with that. So first vibhuti of human being, he says, is पाए हुए का सदुपयोग. Whatever is working, whatever I have right now, I can utilize it well. Second one, he says, जाने हुए में आदर. Whatever I have understood, whatever knowledge I have gained, in that I should have reverence. Without reverence, we cannot make that knowledge one with us. That knowledge will be there, but it will not start working in our life. It is just like food which we eat. Unless it becomes one with body, body cannot derive nutrition from the food. In fact, if it stays, it becomes a toxin, if it remains separate. It's the same thing with knowledge. Whatever knowledge we have understood, unless we have adar in it, we will never be able to become one with it. Apply this to any knowledge. For example, take the knowledge of upasana, what we just discussed right now. Unless a person has reverence for this knowledge will be there, but it will not benefit. But one who has reverence, that person can slowly start internalizing it. पाए हुए का सदुपयोग, जाने हुए में आदर. Third one, he says, सुने हुए में श्रद्धा. Whatever I have heard, some things I might not understand, but this person has faith that if scriptures are saying it, Guru is saying it, he says it has to be true. Has it worked for you? He says, not yet. But I know that this is the way, this is the goal. See, these topics will become more important when we go to subtler topics. For example, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. God alone is real, consciousness alone is real, everything else is an appearance. I have heard it. But in that, this person has Shraddha. Sune hue mein Shraddha. He says, even if I don't see the world like that yet, but I know that this is true. So he doesn't put his energy to disprove what Vedanta is saying. In fact, he can utilize his logical thinking to slowly align with whatever the teaching is. By the way, these three things apply for any knowledge. If a student is going to university, you said these three things we should have. So many peers will be there. First thing is, पाए हुए का सदुपयोग. Whatever is our strength, whatever is our ability that God has blessed us with, utilize it well. Why constantly look at somebody else and compare? And second is, जाने हुए में आदर. I might take so many courses. Whatever I have understood, it is revere it well. Don't look down upon any knowledge. Whenever we do, we dissociate ourselves from that knowledge. And last one he says, सुने हुए में श्रद्धा. Some courses I might not understand. But in what I have not understood, he still has faith. So this Swamiji, he would say, these are the three vibhutis, three glories of a human being. Means we are 100% independent in doing this. Nobody can stop us from utilizing our resources well. Nobody can stop us from having reverence in what we have understood. Faith also nobody can stop. That is a vibhuti. Those are the vibhutis of a human being. That is exemplified in Nachiketa, because of which Yamacharya is so happy. Now he is concluding this topic of Upasana. But next verse, it looks like a very technical verse. But it's actually painting a picture of holistic living. Sometimes we say, right, balanced life, how should it be? He said, this is one example. 17th verse you see. Tri-Nachiketa stribiretya sandhim. Tri-Nachiketa stribiretya sandhim. Trikarma krut tarati janma mrityu. Trikarma krut tarati janma mrityu. Brahma jajñam devamidhyam viditva. Brahma jajñam devamidhyam viditva. Nichayemam shantimatyantameti. Nichayemam shantimatyantameti. Different triplets are given here. Different triplets are given. Bhagavan Shankaracharya helps us understand what they mean. The first triplet is Tri-Nachiketa, the one who has done this Nachiketa sacrifice 3 times. Means in Vedic rituals, number of times a ritual is done matters in the result. Like Achamanam, you cannot say, why do you need to do it thrice? I'll do it only once. You have to say Keshvaya Swaha, Keshvaya Namaha, Narayana Namaha, Madhavaya Namaha. 3 times you should say. Number of times a ritual is done is directly connected with the result. So this Nachiketa Agni had to be done thrice. That is one meaning. Shankaracharya says another meaning of Tri-Nachiketa is one who has learnt it, and whatever doubts he has resolved it. Learnt it, resolved doubts through reflection, etc. And one who has actually practiced it. That person is called as Tri-Nachiketa. This Upasana Vidya and even the meditation technique that we are seeing in the morning previous session, it's not sufficient only to know. Knowing is the first part, next part is doing. So the one who has known, reflected, resolved doubts, and actually done it, that person is called as Tri-Nachiketa. First meaning was doing it 3 times. Same ritual, doing it 3 times. Shankaracharya says another meaning is learning it, reflecting upon it, and actually practicing it. Tri-Nachiketa. This word is clear? Then the next one. Tribihi etya sandhim. With 3 types of people, he has built a bond. Tribihi etya sandhim. Who is this person? This person is somebody who has built a bond with 3 people and learnt many things from them. You say, who are these 3 people he has built a bond with? So Shankaracharya gives different meanings. The first set of meaning is, he says these 3 people refers to mother, father, and guru. But important point here is, he has built sandhi with them. Built sandhi means, he feels a special bond with them, special connection with them, and they have shaped his thinking. We say the first teacher is mother, who teaches the child about simple things in life. How to walk, how to talk, how to dress, how to sit, all of that is taught by mother. Then comes the teaching of father. Generally they say, until Upanayana time, the main teaching is by mother and father. Until Upanayana. After Upanayana, Guru takes over. This was the traditional way. Means after Upanayanam, they have to go to Gurukula. And staying there, they will learn so many things from the teacher. Means the fertile ground is prepared by mother and father. And direction of life is changed by Guru. And in Guru you can include all kinds of teachers. Starting from our primary school teacher, high school teacher, professors. If we sit down and think, we'll notice so many teachers have influenced our lives. So this person is somebody who has built a bond with all 3 of them. With mother, with father, and teacher. Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says, human beings like to imitate. Whatever a great person does, everybody around that person starts imitating. Yadyad acharti shrestah tattat eva itaro janah. Sayat pramanam kurute. Means not only do they imitate, when they are faced with similar situation, they will do exactly what their revered person did. So he says, for a child, revered person is first mother and father. So they have to be so mindful that their actions are leaving an impression on the child. And if they live a good life, they have already done majority of the teaching. Because the child is Sayat Pramanam Kurute. He is observing. And he will imitate the same things that parents do. In fact, if you see, whatever rituals we are practicing today, most of our data and information for those rituals comes from parents only. Whatever they did, that we follow. Of course, other things also we have learned, but majority of rituals are coming from home. So this person is connected with all 3 of them. That is one meaning. Second set of meaning is, he is connected with Veda, Smriti, and Satpurusha. Veda, Smriti, and Satpurusha. Veda means Upanishads, different scriptures that we have. So he feels he has a special bond with them. Whatever they teach, he is willing to practice. Isn't it true? There are so many things we study, we read, we don't feel one with it. This you will appreciate more for yoga. Many people who study yoga, they don't study it as a text. They feel bond with yoga. They feel it is their own. It is guiding them in their life in that way. So for him, Vedas are a source of inspiration, a guide in his life. Second is Smriti. Smriti means whatever is composed by an individual. So Bhagavad Gita will fall under Smriti Grantha. Bhagavad Gita will fall under Smriti Grantha. It's part of Mahabharata, composed by Bhagwan Vedvyasji. So that is the second kind of literature he feels a bond with. So he doesn't study Bhagavad Gita as another book. He feels a unique connection with the text. And third one is, in spite of studying Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita, there will be so many instances where decisions will not be binary. You will still have to think and resolve things. So there he takes support of Satpurusha. Some revered person is there in his life with whom he can seek guidance from. This is the second set of meaning. What was the first set? No. Tribihi etya sandhim. Of this we are discussing three now. Tri-Nachiketa is done. The one who has heard, reflected and practiced, or done that sacrifice thrice. That is done. This is the second one. Tribihi etya sandhim. He has built sandhi, built bond with three people. Tribihi. Who are these three? Mother, father, guru. Second set of meaning is Veda, Smriti, Satpurusha. Then the last set he gives, Shankaracharya ji, he says, he has built a bond with knowledge gained through direct perception, knowledge gained through inference, and different agamas. Just write down the names first. Knowledge through direct perception is called as Pratyaksha. Knowledge through inference is called as Anumana. And Agama is different texts which are composed by saints. You might feel it is a technical topic that you have not heard before, but this is something we use day in and day out. Pratyaksha Anumana. Means how do we make decisions? First we observe, we see, based on that we can make some decisions. But some decisions will be not only by direct perception. You'll have to infer certain things and then come to a conclusion. Based on the data that you have gathered, do some kind of post-processing. With that inference, he is able to make a decision. And these two things, right, Pratyaksha and Anumana, with this alone, so many things humans have been able to accomplish. Animals, mostly they can do only Pratyaksha. Whatever nature has blessed them, whatever they see, that is it. But human beings, they can see and do so much of other inference along with this Pratyaksha. And some discoveries, if you see, mind-boggling. You know what all things humans can think about. For almost 8 to 10 classes we discussed Praman Vichara. Long time back, 2020. You will notice whole of science is based on Anumana. Means you are seeing some symptom, but you want to identify the cause. You say, show me the cause. Cause is not seen. That is what makes it excel. That is what makes the knowledge excel. That you are seeing something, but through that you are predicting something else. You know, I had one professor. He was into kite photography. What he did was, the Bay Area saltscape which is there, salt pans which are there. You would put a camera on the flight and fly it up and take pictures from the top. And based on the color of the water, he would try to predict what is the bacteria which is growing there. So he paired up with a biologist, and both of them were doing this project. This is Anumana. What you are seeing is color, but through color you are predicting which bacteria is there. The point what I wanted to communicate was, this is not a technical topic. We use it, it is just put in a specific framework. We call it as Pratyaksha, Anumana. Constantly we gather data, we make inferences. Sometimes you might be speaking to somebody, let's say your child in university. Some exam did not go well. And while speaking, you know precisely what is bothering the child. He has not told you yet. Something went wrong with the exam. That is Anumana. Pratyaksha is you are hearing words. But through that you are making Anumana that something else is bothering the child. What this mantra tells is, person who is very well informed, that person will have better ability to make decisions. So he has built a bond with Pratyaksha, built a bond with Anumana and Agama Vakyas. Agama Vakyas you can take different texts which are there composed by saints that he has built a bond with. Tribihi etya sandhim. Trikarmakrut. Trikarmakrut means one who has done this 3 times. Or he has 3 types of actions in his life. Everything is 3 here. What is the set of 3? He says he does pujanam every day, worship of the Lord. Study of spiritual text, he does every day. Adhyanam, study he does. And third one is, whatever he has in abundance, he gives in charity. This is how he is living his life. Every day he has little bit of worship, whatever he can do. Some study of spiritual text and charity. Remember we saw this in morning class. Niyamas. Worship of the Lord is Ishvara Pranidhana. Study is Swadhyaya. And there tapaha is given, here dhanam is given. Charity is given. So his life is revolving around these 3 things. Brahma Jajñam Deva Medium Viditva. Now what we saw in the beginning of the class will help. Brahma Jajñam, one who is born out of Hiranyagarbha. Brahma here refers to Hiranyagarbha. So who is born out of Hiranyagarbha? Okay. Samashti level, what were the 3 names? Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha and Virat. So from Hiranyagarbha, after that who comes? Virat. So here Brahma Jajna is referring to Virata Purusha. Brahma Jajñam Devam, Bhagwan whom he has understood as Virata. Idyam, Idyam means having worshipped, having created a bond with God. Viditva, Viditva means he also feels presence of God in his own heart. Shankaracharya adds one word there. He says, Atma Bhavena Viditva. Means he sees God outside, he also feels his presence inside. Deva Medium Viditva. Nichaya Imam Shantim Atyeti. Shantim Atyantam Atyeti. Having understood in this way, he attains supreme most peace. See, this is what we are seeking. Our goal actually is not to understand Upasana. Goal is not to understand things for the sake of understanding. The end goal is this peace. But he says the one who has understood and practiced, the result of this Upasana is Atyanta Shanti. one who doesn't feel finite. That person attains this peace. Okay, with this, the second boon is going to get completed. One more verse is there. Then again familiar topic will begin. Vedanta topic. But one thing we have to notice, upasanas constitute about 96% of Vedas. 96% of Vedas are karma and upasana. Means imagine the importance they gave for this knowledge. Then came the Pauranic time when a particular form became more prevalent. Means worshipping God through a form became prevalent. Then came Kali Yuga, where Karma Yoga became prevalent. It's all the same thread. God who is... See, Raman Maharshi ji says it in only one line. Jagata Ishadi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam. If you ask Raman Maharshi ji, how should you do puja? He says, look at this whole world as God. Jagata Isha Dhi Yukta. Look at this Jagat as Isha and do seva of this Jagat. Ashtamurti Bhrut Deva Pujanam. The 8 different facets of this universe, knowing them as God, do whatever actions God has given. But the source, Gaumukh, of Karma Yoga is in Upasana. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.